Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy, my channel's Finding Value. So we're going to look at uranium and the price performance of uranium for the past 5 days. We're just kind of looking short term to see what some of these companies are doing, who's outperforming who's lagging. And sometimes it's good to buy the top performers. Sometimes it's good to buy some of the laggards. It's tough to say who's going to continue this move higher and who's going to be a laggard, but looking at these companies, we'll get a little bit of a picture of who's doing what and who's outperforming. So let's jump into the data. This is just looking at price performance over the past 5 days. Only the past 5 days, because these things have gone up massively, some of them. So let's look at them. I'll give you my opinion. And again, it's just my financial opinion. It does not mean that these performance numbers will continue. We could have a pullback in some of them. But here we go. So we've got the charts here. We've got the colors, and we've got the price performance for the past 5 days only. So looking at this selection or group, I put kind of these stars on ones that are performing quite well, like Uranium Royalty Corporation is really, they're doing very well for 5 day performance. But all of them are doing incredibly well for 5 days. Looking at so these are Energy Fuels, Uranium Energy Corporation, Uranium Royalty Corporation, UR Energy, and Western Uranium. These are all more US based. This is the African Brigade or whatnot here. And looking at the chart patterns themselves, it does look like they're continuing to move higher. It's kind of that left to right look, which is good. This one also has that left to right look, obviously. And the momentum seems to be sideways to up. It's not coming back down, so that looks good. For these over here, Bannerman's been a very good one performer. Global Atomic's been kind of the laggard here. And then the rest are in about a 38, 36% up move. It's a little bit better performance overall, the average here versus the American ones so far. And the African companies seem to be kind of the leader of the pack over this past, we'll call it, couple months, and even a year. The African, these guys right here have been the top performers on average. Now, looking down here, look at these are some of the uranium exploration companies here. They're a little bit lower than the African counterparts. This is Sky Harbor, Canalaska, Standard Uranium, Baseload, Azincourt. But there's a couple of good performers in here. Sky Harbor with a really good performance, 47%. Looking at the ones on the right here, kind of some of the laggards. We've got UEX Corporation, Next Gen Energy, Fission Uranium's done very well, Camco and Fission 3.0, but Camco and Next Gen haven't really been moving. Just kind of looking at their charts. This one's left to right for the explorers. Some of the producers and larger companies, they've kind of moved upward and then kind of lagged back on some of these. UEX, Fission 3.0, and some of these other guys haven't really moved too much over the past 5 days. Looking at this one here, we've got Encore Energy, Denison Mines, Laramide, Consolidated Uranium, and ISO Energy. The chart up here looks really good from a left to right movement. You want to continually build momentum and strength. This purple one looks very strong. ISO Energy's been a top performer. It's done very well. Consolidated Uranium's doing very well, and same with Laramide. Encore Energy is lagging a little bit, 15% up, but still not a horrible return for 5 days. Looking in the lower right, Paladin Energy's kind of been underperforming. ALX Resources, Peninsula Energy. Peninsula Energy's on fire, and Boss Energy, not too bad with a 31% return. And most of these, looking at the charts, again, left to right, they look really good. I don't see any problems. They don't, it's not like they're diving down or anything like that. So they all look really good. Now, what are some ones that are going to outperform here? Honestly, guys, it's tough to say. It looks like the performance has continued over the past year, months, and now. ISO Energy's been the hot one. Bannerman's been the hot one for performance gains. The African developing companies have done very well, and they seem to be they've been outperforming almost reliably the entire time almost. Uranium Royalty Corporation's been one that's been on fire. That thing's been going up a lot as well. So I do have money in all these. The majority of these companies, I'm not trying to say though that they're going to continue that outperformance. It very well could. It has been. Some of these guys that were performing well 5, 6, 7 days ago have been continuing to outperform. So maybe that outperformance will continue. Maybe it won't. We could very well have a pullback. Most of the time, the ones that are the most volatile going up are also some of the most volatile going back down. So it's tough to say that if this outperformance is going to continue. But what I would guess going forward is that the African companies may continue to outperform as a group just because they have in the past. Most of the time, it's an indication that they'll probably do it in the future. It's tough to say. And they are a little bit smaller companies, and usually the smaller ones do very well. Another thing to think about is sometimes the exploration companies lag a little bit, and then they kind of really catch up towards the end of the bull market. So there might be some outperformance there going forward, since we're kind of still pretty early to middle portion of this bull market. If you guys like this content, give me a thumbs up. Appreciate you guys listening. This is Finding Value.